Hello, good evening. Live from the News Hub at Adisawe Kanda in Accra. This is News at 10 on TV3 and 3FM 92.7. Around the world, we're streaming live on our Facebook page and on 3news.com. First, let's start with our major news highlights of the day. President Akufo-Addo has named anti-corruption campaigner Martin Amidu as special prosecutor. The president expressed his confidence in his ability to deliver. And 3 weeks after TV3's expose on the activities of commercial sex workers close to Kwame Nkrumah interchange, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly today demolished the slum comprising brothels. And 2 police officers have been shot dead by unknown gunmen at Drobonso in the Ashanti region. Another police officer is currently receiving treatment at the Komfo Anochi Teaching Hospital after sustaining gunshot wounds. And Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak has told the chairman of the special committee investigating the cash for seats scandal he will answer his questions the way he understands it. The chairman of the committee, Kwesi Ameyaw Chireme, on the other hand, flared up over what he considers leading questions from Deputy Minority Leader James Kluche Avedi. Those were the major news highlights. Remember, you can hear us live on 3FM 92.7 and you can get interactive with us on Facebook as well as 3news.com. Up next is the big one. Welcome back. Now, President Akufo-Addo has named anti-corruption campaigner Martin Amidu as special prosecutor. The president expressed his confidence in him to deliver.
Martin Amidu was a former Attorney General and Minister for Justice in the Mills NDC administration. The anti-corruption campaigner single-handedly challenged the legality of payment of some 51.2 million cedis to businessman Alfred Wayome, a feat President Akufo-Addo acknowledged.
I can also personally vouch for his public spiritedness. We were on opposite sides in a series of landmark constitutional cases in the period leading up to and in the early years of the Fourth Republic, well known to students of constitutional law, which helped shape the evolution of the Constitution of the Fourth Republic. As Deputy Attorney General as he then was, he conducted those cases with the fairness which should be a cardinal feature of the conduct of any self-respecting lawyer.
The President expressed confidence the former Attorney General will execute his mandate with integrity and fairness.
Fully convinced that Mr. Martin Amidu, a prominent legal personality who held the high office of Attorney General of the Republic in the government of the late President Professor John Evans Atta Mills, has the requisite integrity, competence, courage, and independence of character to discharge effectively the responsibilities of this new office.
Let's do some discussions on this. Now, on the telephone lines, we have the director of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana, Professor Ransford Jampo, who says the appointment made by the president is the most objective political appointment ever made in the Fourth Republican Constitution. Good evening, Prof, and thank you extremely for your time. So tell us how you justify this assessment you just made.
Well, thank you. You know, the whole architecture of the special prosecutor would undoubtedly make whoever gets appointed to head that office suffer a certain fundamental challenge regarding autonomy and independence. And you recall that in my earlier critique of the mood to have this office set up, I also proposed the appointment of a person of a certain stature who would be able to surmount the fundamental challenge and make some strides in the fight against corruption in spite of the challenges of independence. I must say that I am happy with this appointment. Martin Amidu has the stature, the character, competence, the objectivity, and indeed all it takes to wield the needed double-edged sword in fighting corruption within the ruling party and then also outside the party. You can see that even though the Attorney General is the repository of the prosecutorial powers of the land, I can tell you that the overbearing persona of Amidu would make it difficult for any Attorney General to be dictating to him. And so it is a good thing that has been done. He has the name, he has the moral authority and credibility as citizen vigilante, and I believe he would work to protect not only our money, but also his own name. And like I said, this is the most objective political appointment that has ever been made in the history of our Fourth Republic. It introduces a cliche on our governance, political governance landscape, that if you can't find them in your party, go beyond your party to find them all in the name of serving Ghana. Not all positions can or must be filled from within. And today, I can tell you that the President Akufo-Addo has demonstrated his desire to protect the national interest. I'm very certain in my mind that he was opposed by this choice, by the hawks and overly partisan apparatchiks within the party. But I congratulate him for standing or holding on to his own and giving us, this person. Right. I'm a very proud Ghanaian today, I'll tell you, and I thank the President for also following one of the key rational pathways in dealing with winner-takes or politics in Ghana. We urge the President for more of these appointments that even his own political enemies may not be able to oppose. And then also we want to urge Mr. Amadu, and we want to wish him well and urge him on to remember how he took his own party people, on, how he took people in his own party on, and take appointees of this administration also on when necessary, to give him the audacity to be able to prosecute those who aren't in government when he has the evidence. So basically, I think it is a good thing that has happened to Ghana. A lot of people were skeptical about who was going to be appointed because they felt that if you don't take care and the person hasn't got that stature, then it will be difficult for people to respect what he does. But I think the stature of Martin Amidu will douse the earlier challenge that I tried, the earlier challenge of independence and autonomy that we try to articulate. I think he has a stature that would help reduce that challenge.
Right, but Prof, the argument has been made that he was appointed by this particular administration, Nana Akufo-Addo's administration, because he's being, if I could say, very critical of the previous government. So this does not change anything really, because he will definitely go after the appointees of the former administration.
He's also been a bit critical about this administration, particularly regarding the fight against corruption. I've read a few write-ups about him, a write-up that he put out there, and that sought to also challenge the commitment and the determination of this administration, the fight against corruption. So he's been heard and he's been read, articulating his concerns about the fight against corruption by this regime too. So, I mean, anybody who says that he was critical of the previous regime, he was part of the previous regime. He was part of Professor Mills' administration. He's still an NDC man and all that. And so this is good, and like I said, it's also a rational pathway to dealing with some of the challenges of winner-takes or politics.
We've also had situations where very vocal people who are critical of governments are given appointments, and then they end up doing the bidding of these masters. So how sure are we that this is not going to end like all the others?
Well, he was an attorney general in a previous administration, and he dealt with his own. He wasn't, he didn't allow himself to be bullied even by the president then. And so to the extent that he was able to take on his own, I don't believe that all of a sudden he would not be able to do so within this administration. It will be against his own name and reputation. And I believe that the citizen vigilante would want to guard and protect his own name and reputation. And so I'm looking forward to more exciting times in the fight against corruption, particularly with this man occupying the seat of a special prosecutor.
Right, Prof, we're very grateful for your time. But before we go, I'll ask you a simple question. Do you think he might also be going after government appointees of the NPP, since perhaps he might see this as a favor done him by the NPP administration? No,
that is what he should be doing. He should be able to take on appointees of this administration when necessary, to give him the audacity to prosecute those who are in government. So if you are not able to do, if there are evidence, you have evidence of corruption by appointees of this administration, you cannot gloss over. And I don't want to believe that he would be doing that because he has a track record. He's done some before. He took on people within his own party. And so, and don't forget, he was an attorney general. He started taking on his own people when he was an attorney general, a ruling party. And so I don't believe that he all of a sudden would abandon that attribute or quality that he has. I think it's a step in the right direction. And like I said, I'm a proud Ghanaian today, and we must hail his appointment and urge him on to lead, to champion the fight against corruption. Prof, we're grateful for your time. Thank you very much. Professor Ransford Jampo is the head of European Studies at the University of Ghana. Now, earlier, co-chairman of the Citizens Ghana Movement, Adam Senenu, spoke to us on News 360 about the appointment of Martin Amidu as special prosecutor.
I know outfits like yourself have consistently pushed for the appointment of somebody who will be independent. Are you satisfied by the announcement of Martin Amidu? Is he that person to do the job for you?
I am absolutely delighted. And I'm quite sure many of my colleagues in civil society dealing with governance and anti-corruption issues will be delighted. I think it is those who have partisan political interest who would not say that Martin is a good candidate for this office. Indeed, I think he's a people's man. He's the person who would be most interested in ensuring that the public purse and what matters most for the bulk of Ghanaians will be addressed in this office. So from where I sit, I think that the president has made a very good choice, and we're looking forward to see how he gets through the vetting process.
The argument by some skeptics, which I'm sure you've also heard, is that this particular special prosecutor is supposed to be someone who is independent, first of all, and apolitical. You and I know that Martin Amidu is not apolitical. He's a member of the National Democratic Congress. In fact, he served under the Mills administration as Attorney General. Now, how does that serve the cause of neutrality?
Well, first of all, I think that Martin's very singular objectiveness in many cases has been so well demonstrated that one cannot describe him as someone who is partisan. He's someone who took objectivity, was willing to go the extra mile wherever it mattered. I can't see any individual who does not fit this bill. Again, the fact that one serves in a particular government does not automatically mean that one is aligned with or one would have a partisan look as far as issues are concerned. So I think that Martin in particular has well demonstrated his ability to be totally independent and objective on issues.
And also speaking to Pakwesi Asare earlier in the studio, private legal practitioner Martin Pebu expressed shock over the appointment of Martin Amidu as a special prosecutor.
What reaction did you get when you heard the news of Martin Amidu as special prosecutor?
I should say it was shocking. Or like we ordinarily say, pleasantly surprised. Because, prior to this announcement, all the speculations were in the direction of lawyer Akoto Ampao and Philip Addison. Yeah, so for the president to have totally gone in the opposite direction, it was shocking, or ordinarily say pleasantly.
Is it the best decision taken by the president?
Oh, yes, without doubt. It's better because, you know, to the extent that lawyer Akoto Ampao comes from the president's stable. They were in the same law firm together. That's the president's personal lawyer, and all those other factors. It just didn't look good for him to have been appointed. I mean, personally, he's a good lawyer. He would have done the job and all those, but it's just better that we give the president has given it to Mr. Amidu.
There are some people, you know, civil society, social commentators, who had called for an independent prosecutor. What we have now is a special prosecutor.
Good.
Knowing fully who Martin Amidu is as a card-bearing member of the National Democratic Congress, indeed, he's one of the founding members of the party, can we say for certain that he is independent?
Oh, the man himself is independent, yes. Yes, why do you think the whole country is excited? It's because of his personal pedigree.
The whole country is not excited. The NDC
oh, yes, naturally, when I say the whole country, you know, even those who have raised some concerns, I heard the lawyer Dafia Mekbo, but he ended up saying that he will vote in favor. You know, it has to go through parliamentary approval. And he said he will vote in favor. So I'm talking about the majority, I mean, the majority of the populace. You say, so that's why I said that, you know, perfection is not a human attribute.
Right, and the national organizer of the NDC, who also spoke with Bakwesi Asare on phone, said the appointment of Martin Amidu is not different from that of a card-bearing member of the MPP.
I had heard arguments within your fold, I mean the NDC, swearing heaven and earth that you were going to resist any attempts to appoint either Akoto Ampao or Philip Addison as special prosecutor, because these were people who essentially wine and dine with the president. Now we have had Martin Amidu, somebody who is a known figure within your party. You should be excited.
One, we have not mentioned name of anybody. This is the first time I'm hearing you mention names of people we are resisting. We have made it clear that the appointment must not be a card-bearing member of a political party, because that will be a platform to witch hunt. And Martin Amidu is no difference from these other persons that you are mentioning. Indeed, he is more a working bitter person who is out there just to witch hunt. And it's clear from his comments pre-2016 election and his silence in the whole of 2017, where he did not see anything wrong with the MPP government and all the acts of corruption that went on.
You're still watching News at 10 live from the News Hub at Adesawe Kanda. And if you're listening to us on radio, this is 3FM 92.7. We have more news for you. Please stay. Welcome back. Now, I'll answer your question the way I understand it. Those were the words of the Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak to the chairman of the special committee investigating the cash for seeds scandal. The chairman of the committee, Kwesiame Autreme, on the other hand, flared up over what he considers leading questions from Deputy Minority Leader James Kluche Avezi.
Please,
answer
Chairman,
the question.
Mr. Chairman,
I've asked you a specific
you
question.
Asked the question.
Can't allow you
Mr.
to
Chairman,
go round.
You
like
ask the question the way you want. I answer the way I understand your question. So you be patient with me to answer. If you are not satisfied, you can still ask a further question. But if I'm answering, you are interrupting me. Do you really want me to answer the question?
The Minority Chief Whip, Muntaka Mubarak, on whose motion the committee was constituted, was enraged following the chairman's repeated questions to him to clarify if sponsorship was part of public resources. Citing Section 16B of the Financial Administration Regulation, he said the Trade Ministry's issuance of receipts to some expatriates after paying various sums during the Ghana Expatriates Awards makes the money public funds. He alluded to a letter in which the expatriates were directed to room 308 at the Trades Ministry where checks were to be paid. The chairman of the committee, Kwesi Ameyatreme, asked Muntaka to clarify if sponsorship could be categorized as public resources.
I have asked this question about 3 times, and you have gone around it the same way. And we can't continue the repetitions of asking questions and the same question. And then if you have the answer, you have it. If you don't have it, you don't go around.
The chairman earlier accused the deputy minority leader for asking leading questions.
We rather ask questions to elicit information from the witness.
When it is a factual inquiry, leading questions are permitted. We are a tribunal of fact, not of law.
A tribunal of fact is based on law. Your basis is based on the law. So I'm asking him to stop asking the leading questions, because you ask questions and you are providing the answer for the witness, and it's not fair.
You can't rule and you don't even allow me to even speak. Why? Maybe if you are going to kill me, you should let me speak before you kill me. Why? You have rules, so I shouldn't speak? No, we don't work like that.
Muntaka Mubarak was later cross-examined by the 4 other members of the committee and discharged.
Meanwhile, the Aswansi MP has described as unnecessary some of the questions posed to him at the hearing. He claimed he has been treated as a culprit rather than a witness.
They were not seeing me as someone who was to help the committee to do its work. But unfortunately, it didn't appear to me that was what it was. But it was about, can we find a way of trying to discredit what he's saying, so that at the end of the day, we can say that, oh, after all, the thing didn't happen. But I think it's beyond reasonable doubt.
And away from Parliament, an Accra District Court has committed for trial the 14 persons accused of killing military officer Major Maxwell Mahama. The court, presided over by Ebenezer Kweku Ansah, held that based on the facts presented, there is indeed ample evidence to commit them to the High Court.
So the full trial of the 14 accused persons in this matter will begin on February 15, 2018 at the High Court. And according to prosecution, it has some 15 witnesses to call so far as this case is concerned. It also has some 53 exhibits to produce to the court, and these include the iPhone of the soldier and also the partially bent t-shirt belonging to the soldier, some blocks, some metal bars, as well as stones picked from the crime scene, pictures, and then a video recording, all linking these people to the crime, will be produced.
The 14 accused persons include the Assembly member for Dencha Boase, William Ba. 52 suspects were brought to the court when the case commenced in June. After investigations by the police, 38 of them were discharged by the court. According to prosecution, the late military officer who was in the community as part of an anti-illegal mining operation was attacked and lynched on suspicion of being an armed robber while on his daily jogging routine on May 29, 2017 at Dencha Boase. After proceedings, counsel for the accused persons, Bernard Shaw, maintained his clients are innocent.
Initially they were really low, but as you yourself can bear testimony to, with the passage of days, the aspirants are coming back, especially when they saw that some of their colleagues were released and discharged. So there is always a hope. I mean, it depends on what evidence they say they have. There's no two ways as to the fact that the major was murdered in cold blood. The essence of this is to find who were culprits and whether they had the intent to kill as the law demands.
And that's it for News at 10. Up next is Sports Unlimited. I'm Stephen N.T. Thanks for staying. There's more news at 3news.com. Good night.